Hello, everyone. Welcome to Style Esports Season 9 Playoffs. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by K9 tonight, and we are ready to deliver to you some great League of Legends with two teams ready to get it underway. We are in the U1600 division, Demacia, U1600A. For those paying attention at home, we have PCM Mountain up against Omega Gaming Misfits. We have the third seed up against the fifth seed. We're about to get picks and bans underway, and K9, are you ready?
Yeah, very excited for this game. Very good teams playing tonight with Omega and Mountain. Um, there is some issues with one of the teams. They're going to be having to sub out some players as the series progresses, so we'll see how that affects them. But overall, I think they're going to on to some good games tonight.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for PCM Mountain, but I still feel like their record and their elo coming into this match does have some good things for them coming into this. So I'm definitely looking forward to tonight's game of League of Legends. I will say we don't have a whole lot of one tricks on either team. We really only have one out of the 10 to 12 folks who are playing, this whole series, and that's actually kind of surprising almost considering what the who the folks that play style esports are.
Yeah, I mean, usually you see players with, one or two main champions that they really are comfortable on and really excel on, and usually those players are hit a lot of bans. So seeing
Yeah.
that there's only one in this game, I'm assuming that's probably going to be a very, very targeted ban this game. But other than that, we're probably going to mostly be seeing meta picks and bans, and looks like we're under draft already with Aurelia coming out to be banned for Mountain, and Omega going ahead and banning the Diana and the Garen.
Yeah, Diana and Garen is targeted mostly at Wiggy Wonka, and no chat only play. No chat only play is mostly playing that Garen, but I don't know. I feel like you just kind of let Garen go every day of the week. Like, there's some times where you're just like, you know what, we can't let this person be on comfort. Let's just, take it off the table. Let's not have to deal with it. But Garen is a champion that, just seems kind of like worse Tom Kench. Can you
Yeah,
back me up here?
Yeah, I mean, Garen seen as one of those kind of beginner champions. Very simple kit, very one-dimensional. He has his one role and he does it about as well as you would expect it to do.
Yeah.
He kind of fills the same role that, champions like Darius or Sett kind of fill. But he just does it a little bit worse, but his kit is a much simpler to handle.
Yeah.
So you know, again, comfort is usually king in these elos, but still a little questionable ban. Nocturne gonna be banned probably for the series.
Yeah.
I did know Omega's jungler is a very big Nocturne fan, so getting him off of his most comfortable and most played pick is probably gonna be expected for all of this series, but. Omega gonna be picking up the Mordekaiser and Mountain responding with Bard and possibly Jax here, so looking to play a little bit more split pushy and a very roam support, but actually it's gonna be this Ezreal here maybe? Yes, so very safe bot lane, gonna be probably looking for Bard to roam around the map and get his other lanes ahead, while Ezreal can just stay back and farm pretty safely with his Q and his E.
Yeah, and this is pretty much expected that we're going to see Bard roaming around. Like the biggest thing here is oh, excuse me. We've been seeing a lot of supports recently roam around the map, especially after first back here. And that's definitely what's going to be happening with Bard, especially when your team sports a player who has the name Need Chimes BRB. I think the second I saw the Bard, I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah,
There's no surprises here.
yeah.
As Olaf is going to be locked in for Omega Gaming Misfits, this is the other champion that Kanaka Boss plays a whole lot of. It's Olaf at 126 games. Still going to be a pretty good pickup here, as looks like Alistar is going to be the support lock-in for Omega Gaming Misfits.
Yeah, Bard, one of those characters, kind of designed around roaming if you're a support player. Yeah, the joke is, Bard hits level 2 and says, all right, AD carry, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get chimes. You have fun in the 1v2. I'll see you later. But Alistar also kind of a big pickup for these roams. A very, very roam heavy, very good gank setup with his pulverized Q combo, or pulverized E. To be able to just kind of secure those kills, or at least get a flash out of mid lane or probably top lane, with the jungler of Olaf, can look to be very aggressive into Mountain's jungle, and if the jungler gets caught out by the Olaf Alistar combo, could die or at least have to burn some summoner spells. But Mountain gonna go ahead and pick up this Jace. Jace just getting that arcane buff, you know, with the whole animated series and the new skin. So
Yeah.
running that arcane buff now, kind of big, but very strong top laner. We'll have to see if the top laner Notional play can really pilot this champion. She's very hard, very unique kit. Doesn't really scale that well, having no useful ultimate and kind of falling off, but his early lane phase can be very impressive, and if he plays it well, he can get very far ahead.
Yeah, and not to mention Jace, along with characters like him, like Karma, do have these, four basically abilities, or two or three abilities at level one, right? And these early levels are insanely good for those champions just because they have access to so much more of their kit than other characters do at level one. So I'm really going to be looking to see how Jace plays these early levels, because traditionally he can play that kind of ranged kind of poke and place kind of safely against the Mordekaiser, which will give him an edge. And we'll have to see if this is the lethality build, with the Eclipse and the Tear of the Goddess and the Muramana, right? And this might be where it's going. And if that's the case, there's a whole lot of damage on PCM Mountain side that once this mid game happens, they're just going to explode onto the Rift.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of drafting a little bit of that poke comp with the Ezreal Qs and with the Jace Shock Blast, looking to kind of play that long range poke style, but Omega has a lot of this engage with the Alistar, with the Olaf running at you. Mordekaiser could take someone to the Shadow Realm, and now, Arcane Jinx buff also for the side of Omega. So we'll go ahead and see if, she can get those resets in these team fights, and looks like they're going to round it out with a Graves mid lane. So interesting here. Graves, very strong champion recently, has been seeing a lot of play. So I'm excited to see how this goes out, and I think Omega kind of had the idea that Mountain was going to throw this Jace in the mid lane with the Gwen and the Jax bans. So we'll see if this Jace is going to go into the mid lane or if they are going to throw a top, but it looks like it is going to be a Jace mid and a Tahm Kench top. So actually is going to be the Jace versus the Graves mid. So interesting matchup there, but also Mountain lacking a lot of having a lot of physical damage, but not a lot of magic damage. So this Olaf and this Alistar and this Mordekaiser even can get very tanky very quickly when they're stacking those armor items.
Yeah, and Graves is going to have a much easier time in this mid lane as well, just because of his grit is going to give him that armor stacking up the more and more he auto attacks and dashes around, right? So this might be just a little bit of an easier lane for Graves if that mid lane is where he's going, right? I think Jace is definitely well suited to the mid lane. I think that's where initially they wanted him to go when he was initially released, all the way in ye old times of season 2. But man, it's really going to be interesting, because I think you hit the nail on the head, right? There is just a whole lot of AD damage, a whole lot of physical damage for PCM Mountain here. The really only sources of magic damage are maybe some cheeky damage here and there from Ezreal, Bard, and like Tahm Kench, right? And Tahm Kench isn't exactly going to be a damage source, right? He is definitely going to do so early, right? He is one of those characters we like to call a quote-unquote tank, right? In heavy quotations. But yeah, it's going to be really tough that if this game goes long, PCM Mountain are definitely going to fall off, because armor items are super easy to build, and everyone on the team can build at least one.
Yeah, and with Mountain's comp having the Jace, not one of the best scaling champions in the game, Ezreal can be okay later. It depends a lot on the player and how they position and play fights. But when you see the side of Omega, you see Jinx, one of those hyper carry 80 carries for the late game, getting those resets. Those rockets are going to be huge damage. Being able to stack items. Even the Olaf now kind of has the ability to scale a little bit more, because he only needs to focus on building armor instead of having to worry about tankiness from magic damage or whatnot. So he's going to be able to be a little bit better as well and kind of run down these characters, especially the Jace and the Trundle. And Mordekaiser can send, one of the people to the Shadow Realm, and, the 4v4 can go very well for the side of Omega.
Yeah, and I think the kind of the saving grace here for PCM Mountain is that once again their mid game is insane, right? If Jace and Ezreal are able to play relatively safe and stack up their tiers, they're going to explode onto the rifts in the mid game, and there's not going to be a whole lot that Omega is going to be able to do about it, right? Trundle will be able to break through their front line, especially against the Alistar and the Mordekaiser, not so much against the Olaf, right? And really be able to trap Jinx and Olaf on inside a bad team fight if they're able to get through it all. And this is really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for PCM Mountain to play a relatively safe early game, which for the most part Omega is going to let them do, right? They don't really have a whole lot of ways to punish them early. And then once mid game happens, they're just going to accelerate through the game and try to end it there before this Jinx becomes a problem, before this Graves has too much lethality, and before this Mordekaiser can really turn these fights into 4v4s and really become an end game boss that they have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm expecting this Bard to kind of roam around and look for, to help out his side lanes, his top and his mid. Maybe look for a little bit of pressure with the Trundle to try and scout out the Olaf to protect his lanes so that they can hit this mid-game power spike with the Jace and the Ezreal poke and really look to siege down these turrets with the oppressive poke that they have and look to turn that into objectives and eventually a gold lead before they can scale too hard into the later mid game and then eventually late game where Jinx and Graves are really going to shine and be able to get those huge team fights.
Yeah, and we're really gonna have to watch for mostly this objective play because that's where you need to if your team is strong in the mid game, that's where you need to be your strongest. You need to be at these objectives first, especially because you're so heavy on poke, right? You want to be to these objectives first. You want to be able to make sure that you're controlling vision around the map. If your strong point is your mid game, then we need to see how these teams are going to be rotating around the map, how they're going to be utilizing their vision, and how they're going to be positioning themselves for objectives.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to see. I'm really gonna be watching for this Bard Trundle. Bard can really move around the map very quickly and protect his lanes with the portals, with the chimes, just giving him flat move or just giving the burst of movement speed when he picks them up. So he's looking to try and track this Olaf very well because the Olaf is really gonna be the the kind of nail in the coffin. If the Olaf can get his laners ahead, if Omega can get ahead in the early game, or at least a little bit of a lead in objectives and dragons, maybe an early herald, it can be really problematic for Mountain because once you get behind as this mid-game comp, it becomes really difficult to come back into this game and to be able to use your mid-game power spike because you're a little bit behind, which means you're not going to be able to put as much damage out, especially when you're all AD.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I think we already talked about the fact that their team is mostly AD, right? I think this really, if they do fall behind in this mid game, like you said, this is an all damage comp, and one of your damage sources is going to be looking for lethality. And there's really only two squishy members on the enemy team. It's really just Jinx and Graves. Alistar will definitely be able to tank through your damage. Mordekaiser can build in that way, and Olaf will definitely have the HP to tank through your damage as well. So there's a whole lot of tankier members on their team, which if you do go lethality isn't going to be as effective as it would be had the team be a little bit more squishier on the other side for this Jace.
Yeah, but one of the big things about Graves is his E, getting the passive grit stacks. That is just flat armor for free for him. So that can be a problem if he's allowed to be able to stack those up in team fights, or at least setting up for team fights, because that's just going to nullify almost all of Mountain's damage against him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've talked a whole lot about both teams here. I think it's time for us to go to a quick break. We're going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 1 of PCM Mountain versus Omega Gaming Misfits. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 9 Playoffs. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by K9, and we're ready to get this game underway. PCM Mountain is on the red side, and Omega Gaming Misfits is on the blue, and we're ready to get this game number one on the way, as Adam is wasting no time just walking up and making sure the other team knows that he can play the cowbell.
Yeah,
K9, are you ready to go?
yeah. It looks like both teams just starting off with the standard 5 point. No cheeky invades. As someone who has invaded versus the cow before, it's not fun. It's
Yeah, it's
not.
not
It's not
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's no
No,
good.
no. So,
Nuh-uh.
but yeah, Bard can invade with the stun. Can get the one or two into a wall. But Alistar kind of just says, "Haha, I'm gonna knock
Yeah.
up your team, and then you will
Mm-hmm.
die."
Yes.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun. Looks like junglers are both starting top side, and it's gonna be a path towards the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely where you want to be going when you're the jungler at this stage. I mean, this top lane is going to be a whole lot of nothing. I mean, it's Tom Kent versus Mordekaiser, so it's not really like you need to accelerate your Tom Kent or you need to even shut down the Mordekaiser. What you really need to be doing is either shutting down this Jinx or accelerating your Ezreal or vice versa.
Yeah, I agree. This bot lane is gonna be very important for both sides, along with the mid lane. If Wiggly Wonka can get ahead of the chase, it could be very oppressive. So I'm hoping that Reptiles go ahead and puts a little bit of time into the lane as well.
Yeah, as this is what's good about having Bard is that his level 1 is so powerful, and he's really doing a good job of making sure that the other team is just zoned off of these minions. They really can't do anything at this stage, and Neat Charms BRB is doing real good so far.
Yeah, definitely seems very comfortable on this bard, considering his name kind of involves that you would think he would play bard, the name
Yeah.
chimes VRB. So glad he's supporting that name with the fact that he is playing bard quite well at this current stage.
Yeah, and luckily they've been able to heal up just a little bit here and still stay in this lane, and they've been staying relatively healthy. The blue squad against this Bard, because that's definitely what you want to be doing as the Alistar, right? The headbutt pulverize combo, and especially since it can be matched up with the chompers as well from Jinx. So a whole lot of CC time if you get knocked into the air by this Alistar, whose name escapes me. I kept wanting to say Malphite for some reason.
Uh, I have that problem with Maokai. Malphite and Maokai,
Mm,
they're both
mm-hmm.
tanks. They're both big
Yeah,
beefy boys in the top lane,
yeah.
and their names are pretty similar. So it's like for the longest time I would always get them mixed up. But
They're both animated, inanimate objects.
yeah, one's a tree, one's a mountain.
Yeah, one's a tree, one's a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good
uh,
thing. Yeah, yeah. But in that case, Maokai wins, right? Because grass type Pokemon beat rock type
that is
Pokemon.
true. That is true.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It might even be times 4 weakness. We don't know. We don't know that Malphite could be part ground as well.
That'd be. I mean, he's a giant mountain. I would assume he's rock and ground.
Could be rock and steel though.
Could also
You
be.
don't know.
I think it depends on the mountain.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Bard? Bard's fairy type.
Bard is like, I would say Bard is like a fairy type,
Yeah.
like pure fairy.
Yeah, I think probably pure
He's
fairy.
kind of an anomaly.
He really is.
That usually qualifies you for fairy typing.
Yep. Oh, but looks like we
Oh
got a
yeah,
little bit of
yeah,
gank.
yeah. We have a magic journey here. That's going to be the pulverize, knocking them into the air. Headbutt as well, going to knock them away. And Sean is still taking pretty low here. That's going to be the summoner heal and the flash. Going to save them from the first blood this time, but they did spend a whole lot of resources in order to get out of that fight. So, Wash in the bot lane, but 2 summoner spells were spent by the blue squad here, and none were spent on the red side.
Yeah, you can kind of see the power of this bard being able to, kind of like, the whole the Thresh Lantern gank. It's kind of the same with the magic portal into the gank. So well played by him, Trundle. Sadly, not being able to do a lot, did get headbutted away. One of the powers of Alistar, you just go ahead and say you're going away from my AD carry, and I'm not gonna have to worry about you. But Jinx does just have to flash and heal from the damage that Ezreal and Bard are just be able to dish out, and they didn't have to burn any summoners as well.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely like a real tough time to be Jinx, right? Because Jinx doesn't really do well if you dive on top of her. Like she has the chompers that if she places them perfectly, can be able to give her an avenue to escape, but she still doesn't have relatively high movement speed, and she definitely doesn't really have anything like afterwards of those chompers to really do in her base kit. She basically has to use flash in a lot of these engagements.
Yeah, she really does. It's kind of her only escape
Ooh,
tool, but
wait a minute.
top
No chat,
lane.
only play is definitely in some trouble here. That's a big post mitigation shield coming here from Diete. It looks like they're not going to be able to finish off that kill on the top lane as Trundle shows up.
Uh-oh.
Not really going to be.
Death
Oh,
realm.
wait, no. He's in the, yeah, he's in the Shadow Realm right now. Reptiles is in some trouble. Going to
Oh,
come outside,
flash.
flash away. Going to be able to pick up the kill. Not inside the Death Realm, but just in time. So I don't think you get any star chips for that. That's a technicality. I don't think you're going to get any locator cards for that one. But with Trundle showing up in the top lane, does mean the blue team is going to pick up this Drake.
Yeah, so first Drake is going to be picked up. Good consolation prize. Actually, no, just a win across the
Yeah,
map with the
yeah.
top lane and also the dragon, because the jungler
Mm-hmm.
was the one actually killed up there. So, really well played for the side of Omega. Um, but it's only a Cloud Soul or only a Cloud Dragon, so not the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing to worry about. But it's gonna put them one closer towards that coveted soul, and it's gonna be either a mountain or an ocean. So we're gonna be some very tanky members on this set.
Yeah, and Cloud Drake has to be one of the best individual Drakes to get. Not only because it just gives you a flat amount of cooldown reduction, but also it kind of ensures that. Wait a minute, Adashan in some trouble here. Good pulverize here, trying to knock Knight Raider up into the air.
Oh,
Need times BRB is trying to get that last bit of damage and can't quite find it. Adashan still has to hug this turret right here. Can't really quite go in for more. They're just going to back away. In the top lane, Diete getting some good chunk of damage on a no chat only play. Just going to walk away. Is Adam not going to land that pulverize?
yeah, and the Arcane Barrage is gonna go a little bit wide here, but meanwhile in the mid lane, Ayward, you're
Yeah, Edward is in some trouble here. Going to use the flash, the dash, and the ultimate to gain some space, and they're going to be out of there. Adam re-engages here. Adashan still looking for something here, but man, they're just knocking him around and not really finding a good way to get them a win in this fight. Mostly maybe just to scare them away, because it looks like they're trying to reset.
yeah. So they're gonna be able to get this reset. Looks like both bot lanes are actually resetting. So waves are gonna go ahead and crash in the middle. Yeah, I will say though, Ezreal feels a little bit better right now, having about a 10 CS lead. So gonna feel a little bit nicer. It's gonna start stacking up those tiers, and uh-oh, death realm.
Oh, yeah. Yami no Gemu. We are in the Shadow Realm. Canuck boss is coming up into the top lane as well, but Diete is doing a good job. 1v1 Tom Kench. Gonna try to flash away. Leaves the Shadow Realm. Let's see if they can try to Abyssal Voyage away. Not this time. Gonna come down with a big slam from the mace. Mordekaiser picks up another kill in the top lane.
Yeah, Mordekaiser playing very well up here. 2-0-0 with a 20 CS advantage as well. So doing very well for himself. And Olaf's gonna look for this rare Tarot, I hope for. That'll put them very far ahead, being able to get the 320 gold or more from that charge. And already, uh-oh.
Yeah, Adashan's in some trouble here. Luckily, the stun is going to be blocked up by a minion right here. So Ezreal's not going to be able to go forward a little bit more, but Adashan did have to flash there. So that is going to be another, once again, this Jinx is just not allowed to not have flash on cooldown right now.
Yeah, so definitely, a very oppressive lane for this Jinx. Ooh, good knockback.
Award is in some trouble there. Wiggy Wonka is going to be able to pick up that kill in the mid lane after some real nice fancy feet, knocking them back towards the tower. Real good job as Adashan taking real low. Arcane Barrage going to come across, or True Shot Barrage rather, not really going to land this time. They're just going to pull it back. Going to go back to base and reset for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, this Jinx is just getting really bullied, and Adam, this might actually be a dive here. Bard does have the ultimate.
Yeah, he's tanking the turret right now. That's important. Knight Raider is going to grab the aggro for themselves right here. Adam taking incredibly low here.
What
The
a
Q
shot.
from Knight Raider is going to be the one picking up the kill this time, though.
Sniped
Real
him.
good job.
Oh, and the Jinx rocket's gonna come out, but not gonna get land. So it's just gonna be a 1-for-0, and this Ezreal and this Bard are just really, really oppressive right now. I mean, I was hoping the Bard would kind of roam out of lane, but they don't need to. They're just down here, really, really bullying this Jinx, so she's not able to do really anything.
Oh
And
my God,
wow.
DJ's gonna pull them back into the Shadow Realm one more time, and they've given themselves some space, and they're giving themselves the thick skin shield, but they're just gonna have to eat all of that damage from the Mordekaiser here. Have they backed yet? I feel like they've been sitting. They're still sitting on about a little less than 1,800 gold here, as Canuck boss just hovering around with this Rift Herald, not really looking. We're looking for a good lane to shove it in. It might be this mid lane.
Yeah, but I don't know if they want to. The Bard's gonna be here, and one of the cheeky things that Bard can do is he can ulti a tower and just nullify Herald. But
Yeah, but it looks like they
actually,
are going to do a team fight right here. That's going to be the Trundle snared
oh,
up as Mordekaiser dies in the underneath the tower in the top lane here. Jace along the corner, not really going to be able to find anything just yet. Adishon did pick up a kill for themselves. It's going to be Rift Herald summoned to mid as well. So now Wiggy Wonka has to contest with both Shelly and Olaf and Graves. So let's see if they can get a little bit more damage here. Yeah, not going to be able to find a little bit more damage onto the turret, so they're just going to have to back away here.
oh, might get one more plate here. Yeah, it's gonna be able to get one more. So that's gonna be 4 plates in the mid. Feels pretty good, and they're gonna be actually looking to rotate to this dragon. They do have first rotate here, and should go over to the side of Omega Gaming. Um, but Bard and Trundle are on their way down. We'll see if they can stop this.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a... Oh, okay.
Ooh.
True Shot Barrage that came in real close there, but it was just a little bit off target. I guess he assumed that they had pulled the dragon out of the pit, but they didn't really quite have vision on it. So that was actually a really good time to grab the Drake. They had control over, but they had the priority in the bot lane. They had control over the mid lane, and their jungler was in the bot side. They had a man advantage as well. Just a whole lot of good things giving them this Infernal Drake. And now, this is now the Mountain Drake, which means it's a Mountain Soul for this game, as Adishon might be in some trouble here. Need times BRB. Still looking for some damage, but it's just a poke fest back and forth. But I don't think Adishon is going to win at this stage. Jinx isn't exactly better than Ezreal at this.
Yeah, not really known for being able to poke. I know later when she gets the full levels in Q and eventually the rapid fire cannon, her range becomes a little ridiculous. But right now it's not at that stage. But being a Mountain Soul is very good for Omega. Be able to get all those stats, all that armor and MR, and also the shield if you can get the soul can really stop any of this poke that Mountain can drop on you.
Yeah, I think so. One thing I did want to point out really quickly is that Ezreal didn't go for the Sheen on his second back, instead looking to full build the Manamune here, as Diete pulled underneath the turret here. But look, it's a 3-man gank squad coming up into the top lane here. No chat, only play inside the Shadow Realm. Gonna pop that thick skin, gonna give themselves a real big shield. Diete looking for the damage underneath turret, but no one can quite find the slippery fish just yet. They're gonna throw the slow up just a little bit in front of him. They're gonna throw out a couple flashes, look for the kill. It's gonna be Gumbo tonight as the catfish goes down in the top lane.
Yeah, so throwing 3 members up topside for this Mordekaiser to get another kill into this Tom Kench. You know, the CS lead is, you know, still hovering at around 20, but, you know, every lane is up. Every lane is up CS except for the spot lane. But the Jinx has been having a little bit of a hard time with the Ezreal and the Bard, so a little understandable. But yeah, I mean, you know, just very good dive. They did have to burn the Graves flash for that. But yeah, I mean, just another good kill. You know, puts the Tahm Kench behind, and you know, really pushing this Mordekaiser to get ahead, considering how he's already been winning his lane as well. And
Headbutt, Pulverize, gonna throw out the go golden zone, but not gonna be able to grab it this time. Need times BRB is gonna go on a magical journey, but he's gonna be chased up by the Alistar here. Jinx is not gonna go through, but Mordekaiser has teleported into the bot lane. He wants a little bit of this wongy boy for himself. Looks like he's just gonna opt for picking up the Gromp on this bottom half. It's just like, yeah, come over here and fight me. I dare you. Yete gonna pick up some good gold for themselves, trying to make this teleport as worth it as possible, because they did not get an assist for that last fight there.
yeah, unfortunate, not able to find anything. Chime's going deep here.
Yeah, that's a real good headbutt and pulverize there, but Adishon is still in some trouble, has to flash away one more time, and they might be able to re-engage here, but there's not a whole lot of CC for Adam here, so they're just going to back away. Go back to the wave, maybe shove it in, get a back. But this is definitely a good time for Jinx to back. She got 2 kills, has a decent chunk of gold in her pocket. Going to be able to cash that in real well.
Yeah, I mean, this Jinx just kind of able to get 2 of these kills with the Super Mega Death Rocket, and
Yeah,
no
no
chat only
chat only.
play back in the Death
Yeah,
Realm.
yeah, they're pulled into the Shadow Realm one more time here. Diete gonna come looking for the kill just a little bit more. They are pretty low here. Good hand into slam combo. Canuck Boss is gonna be spotted out by Need Chimes BRB. Wiggy Wonka is here, but oh, we have a bunch of members of both teams here.
Oh,
That's gonna be Canuck Boss picking up the kill. Ragnarok has been popped. They're looking for March. Super Mega Death Rocket comes across, but not going to land on anyone. Reptiles has to run for their lives. But look at these undertow slows. They keep resetting. They keep going through. But now it's a 1v2. You can't get the kill this time. Olaf picks up a kill. Ezreal picks up a turret in the bot. And Mordekaiser picks up the Rift Herald on the top side. A whole lot of trades going across the map. But at the end of the day, the blue team is still up 1.6k gold.
yeah, a little bit of a sloppy fight. I feel like Olaf, overestimating his healing and the damage that he can do right now. I don't know if he had his Gore Drinker finished for that fight or if he had procced it. Good first kill, but just a little too ham onto the Jace and the Trundle, considering how this Jace has the Eclipse now, so can do a lot of damage and gets that shield to be a little bit tankier. Where you think you can do that damage in that short amount of time, but he's able to just get the quick combo off and get that shield procced and the extra damage, and you can't actually finish him off.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough because we are getting to that mid game right now where we said that the red team is going to be very powerful. Look, we have some tier items nearly fully stacked here, and they're definitely first to this Drake. Canuck Boss flashes over the
Oh,
wall, not able to steal the Drake. Super Mecha Death Rocket comes across, not going to be able to steal it either. Reptiles is taken incredibly low. Adishon is pinched in the center of the red team right now. They have to run for their lives, but they're running in the wrong direction. Jump down for the Jace right here. Going to put 450 gold into their pockets as no chat only play is 1v1ing Diete in the Shadow Realm. But outside, the red team is faltering and falling. The blue team is doing such a good job. Canuck Boss is going to look for some
oh,
more. The
oh
overtow,
no!
the undertow is so good, but Wiggy Wonka's damage is better.
Yeah,
Blue
so
team summons the Rift Herald. Blue team loses the Drake, but they pick up a bunch of kills. They're up 3.4k gold.
I thought Canuck Boss had actually gotten that dragon there for a second, but actually does not. Goes over to the side of mountain, so a little, delaying the soul just a little bit longer. It feels okay, but I mean, just so much gold going into the pocket of Omega Gamers that you have to think, was it worth it?
Yeah, and really this is the best time for Omega Gaming Misfits here. They're in that mid game where we said that the red team would be very powerful, and I feel like there's a little bit of just kind of underestimating the amount of damage the opposing team can do right now, especially with Canuck Boss and how he's been playing his Olaf. But for the most part, I think the blue team has pretty solidly put themselves in the lead here. Look at the amount of turrets they've taken. Look at how they've controlled the neutral objectives. They're doing such a good job across the map right
Yeah,
now.
they really are already having gotten all of the outer towers, and Wonka.
Oh yeah, Wiggy Wonka, look at that burst damage right there. They're going to go down. Meanwhile, look at
Oh,
the mid lane right here. Adishon is taken incredibly low. There's not a whole lot that Adam's going to be able to do about it, especially after that pulverize. But now they're still looking for more. They're going underneath the turret, going to tank up a courage, a couple shots, going to say, no, not this time. And they're going to get themselves out of there as they're looking for this outer mid turret.
yeah. So trading the mid laner for the AD carry, I think actually does favor. Hold on.
Oh yeah, Reptiles might be in some trouble, but there's the troll pole to get them out of it. Olaf is in the corner here. They're looking for an engage. There's the Undertow, Magical Journey, looking for Knight Raider perhaps. Arcane shifts forward. There's the Undertow. Are we looking for more? Are we team fighting? What's up here, folks? What are we doing? Okay. We're throwing some axes around. All right.
Yeah, it looks like not gonna find anything else. But as I was saying, I think that does favor Omega Gaming, because that Jason being very strong right now, has a little bit more pressure that he can put out. So him being off the table, whereas Jinx being off the table, it feels is okay. But they were able to take down that mid turret because Jinx did fall. And meanwhile, Omega Gaming Misfits weren't able to find any sort of other thing other than that kill.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little strange right now. And as we get a little bit deeper into this, we're taking a look at where we are 20 minutes into this game. The blue team is up about 5,000 gold and some change. So they're definitely looking pretty good for themselves up here. They're 2 turrets ahead, 4 kills ahead, and 1 dragon ahead. There are also 2 Rift Heralds ahead, but, you know, there are no more Rift Heralds to get, so that's going to be a pretty static stat right there. Zayward might be in some trouble. Wiggy Wonka, a whole bunch of burst damage. Here comes Need Charms BRB. They're taking incredibly low. That's the Lifeline Shield coming across, trying to keep themselves alive for just a little bit longer. That's going to be Super Mega Death Rocket coming across. Dash and Flash.
Oh!
Headbutt Pulverize, huge for the save. That's going to be the Bard Ultimate, keeping them inside stasis for just a little bit longer. Wiggy Wonka pulled in by Diete. Mordekaiser's going to be the one picking up the kill. They're not going to get Graves this time. Mordekaiser still wants more, though. Can he find the big, fluffy boy? Here comes Knuckles. Captain Knuckles in from the side. Going to pull him into the Shadow Realm. He's not in the Shadow Realm. He's going to go for a magical journey, though. They're still looking for him, though. There's the Ragnarok popped. Okay, there's the slam. Can he get the Undertow? Absolutely. Diete is going to now pull Reptiles into the Shadow Realm here. This is a pretty good 1v1, actually. That Trundle is being really big back and forth, but Diete is going to come out on top. And this is the really annoying thing about the Trundle ulti and Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser passive, I believe, happening at the same time, is because he constantly is growing and shrinking over and over again.
He gets bigger and smaller.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. He's confused.
With the jungler dead, it should be a pretty free Baron. So, Omega Gaming Misfits kind of pulling ahead right now. You know, up to almost an 8K, a little bit over an 8K gold lead. And kind of put themselves on the sole point here because they're running straight for that dragon now.
Yeah, this is definitely the best time to do so. You just got the Baron. Your health bars are pretty full right here. The red team look to catch them out here. Good headbutt pulverize onto Need Charms BRB. That's going to be the oh no. That Bard ultimate saved them from the True Shot barrage right there, but now it's going to be no chat, only play, trying to run for their lives right here. Going to pop that shield, looking for just a little bit longer to survive. Adashan is now fast. Can they find the kill? Reptiles on the back end here, trying to 1v1 A-Ward, but now they're stuck between the middle of the entire enemy team. Double kill for the Olaf, and now Diete 1v1ing Wiggy Wonka inside the Shadow Realm. Not going to be able to do it this time. And now, with a 1 for 3, they're able to turn their sights onto this dragon and onto Soul Point.
Yeah, so another big fight coming out from Mega Gaming Misfits, able to get this lead to be bigger and bigger, and, you know, at this point, look at all the armor items that they have, you know, Mordekaiser has that Bramble hat, you know, there's 3 plated steel caps, yeah, Alistar is just gonna be
wait a minute, headbutt pulverize re-entry here. A-Ward is looking for a little bit more here, actually does some decent damage. Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide. That's gonna be Wiggy Wonka backing away now.
Yeah, and at this point, the problem with this all AD comp is starting to show. They just don't have the damage to get through all this armor and this lifesteal. There's only right now. There's only 2 ways of stopping this healing from the Graves, and Mordekaiser, and the Olaf, and that's going to be the Bramble Vest on Trundle and the Executioners on Wheelie. So they don't really have ways to stop their healing yet. You know, none of that 60%, it's only 40%, and it's not really enough. This Olaf is huge, 725. You're probably going to be finishing an item on this. Yeah, there's going to be Sterax. And at this point, you're really hoping for a big misplay from Omega Gaming Misfits.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the way back into the game, especially at this point, too, with the Baron buff. More so specifically at this point in time, right? With the Baron buff, they do get those combat stats, and it's going to be a lot harder to push waves against them. So really what they need is maybe an overstep, maybe something wrong with the blue team's way. But look at this. I love what they're doing right here. Look at this 1-3-1 that they're doing. They have such good wave shove in all of the lanes between the Graves, the Mordekaiser, the Jinx. There's a lot to love about this, but are they ditching the mid lane? Y'all? Hello?
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to shove out this mid lane, and Baron buff's gonna fall here pretty soon, so you know, it's just gonna be like the static, you know, what is it, 1600 from the Baron buff and no turret kills actually.
Yeah, we have a couple fights happening across the map here. As Graves is 8 up, spat out. Tom Kench is gonna be the lifeline shield coming across for Graves here, trying to give himself a little bit more space to maybe find the kill onto the Catfish. Not gonna be able to do it this time. Knight Raider's gonna arcane shift away from the Super Mega Death Rocket. Not gonna fall this time. And this Baron buff has not exactly been the most impactful for the blue side here. Adam might be in some trouble here, but they're backing away.
Yeah, so wasn't the most impactful. I don't think they really got any turrets. They did get the dragon and the big fight, which was very good. But other than that, it was kind of just a static. Just took it off the table and just kind of got a little bit of gold off of it. So not a lot of pressure used with the whole Baron minions, which is a shame. So we're gonna have to wait to see if they can do a little bit more off of next Baron. And considering how Baron and Dragon are spawning around the same time, we're gonna see which team pros which, considering there is a soul point off the table.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a fight to remember. This is definitely going to be a very, very important fight for both teams right here. One to deny Soul and the other to grab it. This is why Soul Point is actually really good and why folks go for why prioritize these two early drapes, because it does mean that the enemy team in the later half of the game now has to prioritize the drakes, right? You need to go to this half of the map in order to deny the drakes from your opponent. But if the opponent lets you have the drakes, it's not the end of the world for them, right? Like if we see, oh my god, is he gonna stop the back? Okay, he has a shield, so he can't stop the back.
The lifeline shield, yeah.
Yeah. So to finish my point here, it's really like PCM Mountain are going to have to be at these drakes, whereas Mega Gaming Misfits, even though they're going for it right now, right? They really don't have to be here, right? They could be somewhere else on the map, and if the red team picked up the Drake, it wouldn't be the end of the world because it would only be their second.
Yeah, but top lane. No chat only play. I don't know if you want to actually take this fight, considering how big Diete is.
Yeah, Diete is pretty big here. He is still taking DOT damage here, and they're in the Shadow Realm 1v1. Diete is looking to finish him off and maybe get some stats for himself. Not going to be able to do it this time, and now Reptiles is on the outside here. Diete is able to 1v2, though. He's a final boss. You're going to need 38 more people, and especially a Shaman for Bloodlust. Double kill for Mordekaiser.
Yeah, that ghost type really popping off. Ooh.
Award is going to be shoved into the golden zone as they're going to be able to back away there. On the bottom half of the map, the dragon still hasn't spawned, but with two members of the red team down, this is definitely a very, very good opportunity for the blue team to shove in 4-1. But it looks like they're finally backing off and going for the turret.
Yeah, Shadow Pokemon are super effective against all other types of Pokemon, so gonna get the double kill top into this Dragon Soul and then probably this Baron, so Mega Gaming Misfits, huge advantage right now, 10k gold, and considering how they're much better at scaling into this game, it really feels like Mountain doesn't really have a way back into this game.
Oh, Diete is going to be in some trouble, though. Looking for the Ezreal, but he's a little too slippery here. Going to get the big shield. Going to force Bard in order to get away here, but Wiggy Wonka still wants a little bit more here. Claw comes out, not going to land on anyone. Headbutt polarized, still not a good initiation for this fight. It was just a little bit too far forward, and they're going to back off. I was going to ask K9, have you played Pokemon?
Yeah.
Do you know Pokemon types?
Yeah, I do.
What is a shadow type? What is that?
It's from Pokemon Gale XD. Pokemon Gale XD, like Darkness. It was it was an exclusive type in that.
It wasn't a type, though. Diete is going to pull Reptiles into the Shadow Realm. This Trundle is going to have to 1v1 the monster that is Mordekaiser. And he's just going to grab your rarest card and those star chips. And he's going to be able to go around, pick up the kill. Need Chimes BRB is going to die on the magical journey. And now Award is by themselves on the other side of this red buff here. Oh, no. That magical journey was for the blue squad, it looks like. And now Diete is in the middle, 3v1, but still able to pick up a kill for themselves, healing for just a little bit longer. No chat only play is going to survive for just a little bit longer. Adashan has now showed up to the fight. They do have some damage, but this attack speed is pretty low here. Night Raider might be able to turn this around, but Adashan, ooh, not going to be able to do it this time.
Yeah, so 5 for 3. They can try this? I don't think they're going to. Olaf could theoretically do it with his health steal, but unfortunate. No, but the Shadow Pokemon from Gale XD, they were effective versus every type. It was weird. It was on the GameCube.
Yeah, I know. I played it. It was my favorite GameCube game. Shadow isn't a type.
It's just like a thing that they have.
Yeah.
Good game though. Good game.
Yeah. I remember.
Fun fact: that game connects the Pokemon universe with the Mario universe.
Really?
Yeah, because
how so?
Professor Egad, is in that game, and he's also in Luigi's Mansion.
You're right. All right, no chat only play is going to be the first into this fight here. A word is taken is going to be fought out, but not really a whole lot of damage coming out for the red squad here. Jinx isn't even in this fight. 4v3, 3v3 right now, as that's going to be Trundle pulled into the Shadow Realm. 1, 2 kills, 3 kills, 2 and 2 so far. Can they find the Ezreal? This might be the way to end the game right here. But that's going to be Adam taking some damage. I don't think they'll be able to do much just yet.
Yeah, Knight
Okay, they're
Raider.
just, I mean, they're just pushing for the
Yeah,
win.
I think they can just end this. Knight Rider really has to try to, really 1v5. He has to clear the minions, but I don't know if he can. He doesn't really have any form of wave clear, and his ult's already down. So, yeah, they're just gonna go on the towers here. This is it. Yeah, Jinx resets.
Yep.
There's not a lot that he can do.
Yeah, I mean, ending the game is something Jinx is very good at. Can just sit there and just kill the Nexus. Man. I mean, that was a really good first game.
Yeah,
Blue team picks up the Nexus, picks up the game 1 win. We're going to a game number 2, and this is already looking like a very, very good start if Omega Gaming Misfits keeps this up.
definitely. We'll have to see in the next game. I'm hoping for some draft changes for the side of Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little bit of problems with the full AD comp, and the lack of AP really hurt. They've had this mid game team that they fell behind early, so it could never really get off the ground, and then it slowly just became a game where Omega Gaming Misfits could just walk away with it pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. Is we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be in picks and bans of game number 2 of Omega Gaming Misfits up against PCM Mountain. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 9 playoffs. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by K9, and we're ready to get this game number 2 between PCM Mountain and Omega Gaming Misfits underway. PCM Omega Gaming Misfits was able to get that number 1 game victory, and now we're going into a game number 2, seeing if they can pick up the pace. But K9, you were mentioning some things that you would like to see different from PCM Mountain this time around.
Yeah, their draft seemed to have a couple of flaws. One being a very, very heavy lack of AP damage. They did draft all AD, and we're going for more of a poke and mid game comp, and it seemed like they fell a little bit behind in the early game, so they weren't able to get rolling. I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive early because currently I feel like the meta right now is you get this early lead, you get the early dragons, and then you kind of transition that into a strong mid game, pick up an early soul, and then just kind of roll away with the game with that. So I'm hoping they go more towards an early game composition instead of this mid game pokey kind of comp. So
Right.
that's really what I'm hoping for. It felt like they were a little uncomfortable on the champions, or at least uncomfortable with the comp overall and with how to play it, how to play the early to mid game. They were taking a lot of team fights when they really want to be looking to siege down with those poking champions on the Ezreal and on the Jace.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that game wasn't with holes from Omega Gaming Misfits, because I feel like a lot of time Canuck Boss was playing super far forward, dove too heavily. Adashan was also the weakest member of the team as well, and it definitely wasn't looking the greatest from Omega Gaming Misfits. It just seems like they got too big of a lead and were too tanky for the Pokemon to really truly mess with here. So I'm also liking this change from the get-go here. PCM banning out both of Canuck Boss's over 100 games champions and forcing him onto maybe something else in their lineup, as they're going to ban away the Irelia from A-Word.
Yeah, so Omega Gaming Misfits, same bans as last time. Gonna go ahead and ban the Garen, the Sit, and the Diana. Again, not too sure as to why you're banning the Garen. He kind of is one of those beginner champions. He's not that much of a problem. So I guess they're just banning away comfort. Diana and the Set are both pretty solid choices. Diana can be flexed, the Set can be flexed, very good picks. And then the Olaf from last game definitely was a problem for PCM Mountain. Kind of just ran down their team, and there wasn't really a lot they could do. And the Nocturne being again the very comfort pick, so taking those off, and then Aurelia also a solid pick. But first up for Omega is going to go ahead and be that Thresh support, so very active aggro support, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, definitely. This is also Adam's most played champion as well, so this is definitely some comfort. It's going to be answered by the Karma here, and I think that's pretty good. Karma has been able to flex into multiple positions around the map in the past, and definitely picking up here is going to be good, as they're going to lock in the Ezreal one more time.
Yeah, so Karma can go into that support role, can also go mid, has in the past shown up in top lane a few times, but most likely going to be seeing support with the Ezreal. A lot of poke coming out. Karma does have the Q, and the monster Q can do a lot of damage and poke out this Thresh, so that you can't ever really look for hooks, because if he ever gets one and goes in, he's at 20% HP and will just get one shot when he goes in. So gonna be trying to make sure he can't ever look for hooks, and they're gonna respond with the Lilia. And I know one of our caster and producer friends, big fan of Lilia, Brennan.
Yeah,
Shoutouts.
MXL.
Yeah, MXL.
Shout outs to MXL. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely looking. It's interesting. So this tells me that perhaps this is going to be a misfortune here for Adashan. I mean, they have the box and Flay and so much to set up, and okay, they're gonna look for the Jin here, which is still relatively good. Adashan still not their most comfortable champion, but does play a lot of different champions at about the same amount of frequency. So this shouldn't be too out of the ordinary. But I was worried that was Omega was going to may have a comp that was based around the ADC, which after that last game, I don't know if I would have been too convinced about.
Yeah, and PCM gonna go ahead and run the Jace back, so a lot of poke coming out with the Karma Qs, the SR Qs, and the Jace Shock Blast. So looking like they're gonna go ahead and run the poke composition back, but Omega definitely very different draft with the Lilia, the Thresh, and the Jhin. Jhin, not
Yeah.
much of that hyperscaling, but does have a lot of utility with his the curtain call and the roots that he can get and the traps. So a little bit safer, a little bit longer ranged, and a little bit less damage, but does have that 4-shot execute, does have the setup for his team as well for Lilia and for the next picks to kind of run rampant.
Yeah, and this is definitely looking pretty good for PCM a little bit more here because with these three lock-ins here, it does mean that the team is a little bit less squishy here. Thresh definitely not as tanky as the Alistar, and Lilia definitely not as tanky as the Olaf. You know, being forced onto this more squishy champion means that even though they're running back the same comp that didn't work beforehand, have now made some drafting changes that is going to make it a little bit better. I think this Karma in the same vein as the Jace is definitely going to provide a whole lot more poke damage, but I still think they need the Trundle for maybe some disengage, as well as some ways to deal with a lot of the resistances that are going to be built by the front line of Omega Gaming Misfits here, and also they're going to need something else, but they're looking for the
Oh,
Cane.
Kane, interesting. Gavino, big fan of Kane. I wonder if he's watching this. Maybe we'll even see a Morgana come out. You never know. Really just picking for the casters tonight. But Kane, very interesting pick. Hasn't seen a lot of play. Does have the problem of in the early game, you kind of feel like you're half a champion because you're working towards your form. So it takes a little bit of time to ramp up, but when you hit that red form or blue form, you kind of hit that big power spike, you get all of these new abilities and new powers that you can use, so it feels really good. But the early game can feel a little bit daunting and can get bullied a little bit, but Omega gonna go ahead and pick up the rise for this mid lane and probably gonna go ahead and see, yeah, it's gonna be the Urgot in the top lane.
Yeah. I mean, Urgot is definitely a rather tanky character, but not exactly the same amount of frontline coming out from Omega this time round. You know, Rise can build relatively tanky, right? Does go into some glacial shroud items, which will be useful for this later stages of the game because that's definitely what they're going to need. You know, armor. I mean, you could even get away with building plated steel caps on Jin if you wanted to. And I feel like that would still be very good against this team because 2 out of the 3 AD members are going to be building lethality. And then you really only have one AP threat or even just like 2 half ones with the Malphite and the Karma, right? So if you're able to at least put some armor on you and then if you're really worried about the Malphite, there are some avenues for a lot of these champions to go into MR.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Malphite does do the Everfrost build, gives him a little bit more of that AP, and gets the, the build that you kind of are a big fan of is, again, the Everfrost with the AP and the more CC that you get, and every item that you finish, you get even more AP, so it can be a little tricky, because Malphite's getting this AP that he normally wouldn't be getting from these items.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we want to take a look at here because Malphite does like going into the Everfrost build nowadays and can actually go into it, right? And can still build tanky afterwards. It does just make him a little bit easier to punish in that early game, but does give him a whole lot of utility in the late and can provide a little bit of CC for the folks who want to get in real close to his team. But I don't think there's a whole lot of folks on Omega that's going to be something that you want to do.
Yeah, one thing to note, Kane, if he does go this blue form, the passive does give him extra magic damage, so if he does go this blue form, which, is very possible, you do have very squishy Jhin, Rise, and Lilia, gets that extra AP, gets that extra damage that you can do from the passive that Shadow gives, can be useful, but also Red just much more consistent, has the CC, has all the lifesteal, you become a lot tankier, you become this really dangerous drain tank that can be really hard to deal with.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be important to watch what this Kane decides to go because it can just change the whole pace of the game, right? If you're expecting this whole time to see a red Kane and Kane goes blue or even vice versa, it can just change up the items that you have been building, or makes other things more important, right? Against red Kane, you're going to want heal cut, you're going to want max health damage, but against blue Kane, you're going to want armor, you're going to want slows, you're going to want whatever you can do in order to survive that burst and then turn it around on him.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see. PCM does have a lot of this poke, so I'm hoping that they don't fall behind like they did last game. Because this Jason, this Ezra, and this Karma really do kind of pick off in these mid-game kind of not really skirmishes, but these sieges where they can really poke off the Jin and the Rise and the Lilia, and then siege down the towers. We really didn't see a lot of that last game, so I'm hoping we see a little bit more. Because that's where they're really going to be strongest. But I'm not really sure if they can do that, because this Kane, there's a lot of pressure on him to be able to put pressure out early. But against the Lilia as a Kane, it can feel very hard to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, it is definitely going to be very hard to do that against them for sure. And once again, I'm going to be looking to a lot of these characters on Omega here against PCM to be maybe itemizing more into armor than they would normally, right? Don't just go for whatever blitz.gg or opgg tells you to build. Don't just go for cookie cutter stuff. You're gonna have to adapt here, because if Jace gets ahead, if Ezreal gets ahead, or if Kane gets ahead, and or if they get ahead, you're gonna need a whole lot of armor. Maybe Adashan needs to go for the plated steel caps instead of the Swifties. Maybe Thresh needs to go for, a faster locket of the Iron Solari and maybe into some more armor afterwards, right? Maybe a Knight's Vow, right? It's all going to be like a game where you're going to have to adapt a whole lot, because if you're not prepared for what Kane is going to transform into, if you're not prepared for the lethality that's going to be built by the enemy team, you're going to be caught off guard, bursted out, and then you're going to be crying about it later.
Yeah, this
Well, I don't
game.
want to say crying about it later, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah, this game really revolves around what Reptiles goes. If he goes this blue Kane versus this red Kane, so we're gonna have to see in game what he chooses, because it really does change up a lot of the builds for Omega Gaming Misfits.
Yeah, and it really, adaptability, I believe, is the name of the game here, right? Especially for Omega, right? There's a whole lot of build paths that that they can go here, right? Malphite has a couple, Kane has a whole bunch, and even has an alternate form they can go to. And they also are going to have to respond if the enemy team gets a larger lead in the early game, right? There's adaptability is the name of the game for Omega Gaming Misfits here, and they're really going to have to show that in this game, whether they can adapt to the opposing team. But we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of PCM Mountain versus Omega Gaming Misfits, game number 2. Don't go anywhere. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 9 playoffs. We're in the U1600A Demacia bracket, and we have PCM Mountain versus Omega Gaming Misfits. Game number 2 up for y'all tonight. As we have Omega Gaming Misfits on the blue side, PCM Mountains on the red. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by K9, and we are ready to get this game number 2 underway.
Yeah, it looks like both teams again are just starting off with this 5 point. Surprised that we didn't see an invade with the Thresh. So unfortunate, but looks like they're just gonna be playing it safe. We do know that uh that I'm dumb. We do know that both junglers are going to be starting on their red buffs. Kane going to be up on the top side, and Lilia on this bot side. So going to be pathing in opposite directions on opposite sides of the map.
Yep.
Omega Gaming Misfits looking to win the series up 1-0 right now. So gonna go ahead and see if they can win this or if PCM Mountain are going to be able to bring it to a game 3.
Yeah, it is really important. They are pretty much running the same comp as they did before. You know, they have a
Oh,
relatively
good
Oh,
hook.
wait a minute. Yeah, that's a real good death sentence right here. They're not able to follow it up a whole lot more, though. Adashan doing a good job of pressuring them level 1 as much as possible, but that fourth shot might have gotten them just a little bit too greedy, as Ezreal's definitely punishing real hard right now.
Yeah, so, oh, another good
Oh
death
my
sentence.
god! Adam just playing out of their mind right now. These death sentences have been very good.
Yeah, definitely been. I mean, 2 for 2 already. I mean, just kind of threading the needle on those, but this Ezra poke and this Karma poke a little too oppressive right now. And oh
Ooh,
my,
3 for 3. Gonna get the root to follow it up. Adashan gonna follow up with the first blood in the bot lane. That is huge.
yeah, already 240 in first blood for Adashan on this gen is gonna feel really nice. And meanwhile,
Yeah, this does mean that
Reptiles.
Deity might be in some trouble here. Flashes away, but look at no chat only play is pretty low on HP right now. Deity have to running for their lives here, and Reptiles basically had to make this change in their play because of that first blood in the bot lane. They couldn't keep pathing down that part of the map because the bot lane is already dead. So now they need to spend just a little bit more time on this top half of the map and might actually meet Lilia as Adam looking for another play. Oh my gosh, he just keeps fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to fight, buddy. Your Jin's very low on HP. You're pretty low. You have like no mana, so probably should be looking to reset here. But I will say Reptiles does go with the Dark Harvest, so Dark Harvest can go both ways. You can run. Uh, it's kind of a safe rune to run as Kane because you can kind of flex into tank or you can flex into assassin with it, just because it's just basically more damage for fights. Versus the Conqueror, where you're pretty much forced to go into uh, the Red Cane, or if you go the Electrocute, you're kind of forced into this Blue Cane. But
Yeah.
with Dark Harvest, you can kind of go either way, but I do see it more on Blue Cane, so my guess is he's hoping to go Blue Cane this game, and it's pretty easy to get actually, considering how 4 out of the 5 members are ranged, so.
Yeah. Oh, Jay's flash in the mid lane and Deity in the top lane here doing a whole bunch of damage. No chat only play. This is going to be a very big problem. Press the attack is very strong this early on. Adam looking for the karma here. Not going to be able to land that hook. Not going to be able to look for the hook this time. I think he did flash over the wall.
Yeah, I
And
think
that's why he has Hex Flash right now. And
yeah.
that forced Wiggy Wonka to also flash.
Yeah, so I think it was a trade of flashes in the mid lane, with Adam and Wiggy Wonka. But bot lane, Kane is looking for something here. He is pathing, but so is Lilia, so we might get a little bit of a skirmish down here. But actually looks like they're just gonna go back to farming. A little too dangerous
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, if there is going to be a lane to start a fight, Adam and Adashan have already shown that they want to play this in this early game just a little bit more aggressive than they did in the previous game, and Jin is definitely the one to do it. These early levels are definitely very strong, especially with that fourth shot doing so much damage, and Lilia is in the vicinity. Adam has been able to thread the needle with these hooks. Tapupi, the arcane ships away, not going to be snared up this time. Adam's still looking for the just a little too long with the flay, not going to land the death sentence. He's now 3 for 4.
Yeah, I mean that one, a pretty important one to hit. In all honesty, could have gotten a pretty big kill, but Deity.
Yeah, Deity's in some trouble. Just gonna try to walk forward here. He knows he doesn't have anywhere to go. That's gonna be a kill being picked up for Kane here. X Flash, Adam, looking for the hook. Not gonna land this time. 3 for 5.
Yeah, so looking like his numbers are going down a little bit,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um,
I think you still take a 60%. Do you think you take someone with a 60% accuracy rating with that?
uh, it I think it depends. Honestly, I think it would depend. Because that's a D if you think about it.
I mean, sure, but that's still more than half as Hayward gonna be able to pick up that kill in the mid lane over Wiggy Wonka. Real nice setup, real good follow up. Canuck Boss also gets an assist.
Yeah, so good gank there. Well played by A-Word. And meanwhile, top lane.
Hmm.
Oh,
God, he
bot
just keeps fighting.
lane.
Okay, bot lane as well. That's gonna be the snared. Oh no, need chimes. BRB is definitely gonna be right back for a while there, as they're gonna go right back to the summoner platform. And yeah, this is a real good time to start picking up the Drake. The only problem is Jin is very slow at taking these neutral objectives.
Yeah, not the fastest AD carry, not nearly as quick as some other AD carries, such as the Jinx from
Jinx.
last game. But
Yeah.
oh,
Ooh. Gonna pull him out of the wall. Reptile's taking incredibly low here. Adishon is on a killing spree now, 3-0. This is a night and day difference from
yeah,
what we saw from Adishon in game number 1.
Ashon really stepping it up this game number 2. Last game he was got a little punished early, but it seems a lot more comfortable in this Shin. One thing
Mm-hmm.
to note about Jin, not the fastest taker of neutral objectives, but he's very good at securing those with the 4-shot and another hook.
Ooh. Yeah, we're on 5 for 6 or 5 for 7 right now. That's gonna be the snare coming out. Not gonna be able to land this time, but a decent chunk of burst damage onto the Karma here. Definitely gonna make them scared to stay in this lane any longer.
Yeah, but the Jin 4-shot can really secure objectives. You time it with your jungler so that it lands as the smite comes down, and it's just gonna be too much damage for the enemy jungler to even try to smite steal it.
Yeah, look at no chat only player having to run for their lives from Deity here. Really trying to extend this engagement out for as long as possible, because here comes Reptiles. Re-engage huge. They're going to be able to pick up the kill in the top lane. What a very well played job by no chat only play.
Yeah, very good on no chat only play. Being able to survive that long, holding out on his ultimate, knowing that Reptiles is coming up there, and are able to pick up a kill for themselves. So, yeah, Reptiles does seem to be going this lethality build, so he is looking for this blue cane this game.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be hard for me to say that he's going into the red cane, especially after picking up a serrated Dirk, right? Like, I think you've hit the nail on the head. This is going to be a blue cane, and it's going to be that much better with the Dark Harvest as well. And I think it's pretty good. There's pretty more than half of the blue team right now is definitely fairly squishy. I think Lily. Oh, wait a minute, we have a curtain call down to the bot lane. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be coming out. Not really going to be able to find anything either. So Directed camera said, "Yeah, cool curtain call. Maybe you should land a couple shots next time."
Yeah,
It's Hayward
wasn't a
in
fan.
some trouble with Reptiles here. Going to be rooted up and walk away. Thank you so much, Phase Rush. Love it. Very cool. Canuck Boss still looking for a little bit
Oh,
more. Going to
sleepy
throw out the
time.
Drowsy right here. It's sleepy time. He's going to be sent off to the Dream Realm, as that's going to be Wiggy Wonka rooted up. Let's look for the re-engage. The dot is good, but they can't quite find the last bit of the damage here. Urgot is coming in from the top lane here. If they're able to find just a little bit more damage. Does he have... Oh, from downtown! God! You love to see it. Deity coming out huge.
Chewed up and spit out. Jace, the protector of Piltover, gets destroyed by the Chem Baron.
Yeah, okay, wait a minute. Deity once again in some trouble, as Award's going to be the one picking up a kill here, as it's actually Reptile's the one who's in trouble. This might actually be a very good time to pick up the Rift Herald and actually secure this first turret in mid lane, because there's only a couple plates left. This is like the I don't know how many people know Merlin from Style Esports, but the only time he ever throws out a Rift Herald is when a turret only has 2 plates left.
I mean, it's one way to secure first turret.
Yeah.
But this mid lane, Jace, one of those early champions who can get really ahead, is down to 30 CS, and no chat only
Yeah,
play.
Canuck Boss Canuck Boss with the Predator coming in here, looking for a little bit more. Does not have the sleep. Only has a whole bunch of damage, which is pretty good considering Malphite doesn't have a whole lot of magic resist. They're going to be able to get away this time as they're going to stop the backs from Need Charms. BRB. They're just going to have to walk much further back in order to keep themselves, in order to get themselves to get back into the base.
Yeah, that Jin W is going to be able to stop the back, so unfortunate, but they also are going to be able to get that turret plating and reptiles. Adam maybe a little caught out.
Yeah, that's actually a very good box here and a flank, and it slowed down Kane just that much. Here is Wiggy Wonka once again, just trapped in this mid lane. Rise does so much damage. You better rework this champion a 7th time.
Oh man, Jace is just getting really punished. The early pressure from Canuck and Deity getting that huge, death sentence. Jace is down 0-3 and down 40 CS, and his turret is looking pretty weak at this point as well.
Yeah, I do want to say, I don't think I was able to mention this when we were talking earlier, is that Rise, even though they're a tier champion, which means they're very strong in the mid game, they actually start scaling a whole lot sooner. And I feel like a lot of people are waiting a minute. Need Chimes BRB is taken incredibly low here. The last bit of damage, Ignite is ticking. That's going to be Adashan picking up the kill as Canuck Boss is looking for the sleep. Yeah, Ezreal is now on the Chuck to Sleepy Time Junction, but they're out of there thanks to the cleanse there. Is now blue team picks up a turret, but Deity is going to be in some trouble here. That's going to be the unstoppable force coming across. Reptiles comes in. That's going to be picking up the kills. Blue Kane has joined the party, and they are in this match in their full form, ready to go.
Yeah, and this Blue Kane is going to be able to get anywhere with the fact that his E gives him the movement speed, and it's on such a low cooldown, he can be anywhere on almost any time. So Reptile is going to try, now that he's officially a champion and kind of online at this point, he's going to try to, salvage whatever he can and use his lead to really bring his team back, as they are currently at about a 3k gold deficit.
Yeah, and this is a pretty familiar spot to game number 1 here. Is Canuck Boss caught out in the jungle here? Might look to take it. I have no idea who got that big scuttle right there, but
I think it was Wiggy.
Deity.
Wiggy got that.
Yeah. Yeah, here comes the fight, though. They're going to knock them back towards their own team. Curtain Call comes across, and looks like directed camera is a top lane focus, as that's going to be the Curtain Call coming across. Not really going to land on anyone, though. The red team has kited away. Deity's still trying to fight around here, but good snare on the back line here. Need Chimes. BRB, I'm back to the summoner platform. Reptiles is going to use the ultimate, trying to take down Canuck Boss here, but huge shield going to keep them alive for just a little bit longer. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge, as Adashan is going to be the one picking up the kill this time. DePoopy does come in and find A-word, but it's a little too late to help out with this team fight.
Yeah, and Reptiles felt like he really just tunnel visioned onto that Lilia, trying to get her, but the stopwatch delaying for that time has the Seekers, so it's a little bit more tanky as well. And
yeah, Adam, there's the dark passage here. Maybe they can turn it around on a Wiggy Wonka. Adashan just needs a little bit more damage, but they're reloading. They're not going to be the one picking up the kill this time. Adashan is out of there, and so is Wiggy Wonka after the flash. Whoa!
Not enough.
A little too close.
Stops the back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, another big fight going on the side of Omega Gaming Misfits, and, the gold lead just keeps growing over 5k at this point, with 2 dragons. I mean, it's only a Cloud Soul this game, so ultimates are going to be a little bit lower, which isn't the worst thing if you're a PCM Mountain fan, but I mean, at this point, this mid-game comp is behind in the mid-game, which is really, you really don't want them to be.
Yeah, Deity is going to dash right in here. The Canuck Boss is here. Unstoppable Force comes across. That's going to be them taking incredibly low, but they still can't find the kill. They're going to be put to nap time, stunned, rooted, pulled. The tricks in the book. Is A-Word still looking for more? Realm Warp going to go forward, going to cut off Wiggy Wonka here. There's the Death Sentence, not going to land, but they're looking for the root. It's going to land. A bunch of damage to follow up too. Rise picks up another one as A-Word is godlike.
Yeah, A-Word really popping off this game on this Rise, up 50 CS, 7 kills. working on his second item already, and Jade still has a decent bit of time on his first. Already has that tier fully stacked, and Adam is
Ooh. Yeah, I wasn't debating the Hex Flash right there. I was talking about the Death Sentence, because now they're definitely in a real bad spot right here, and Dapoopy is going to be the one picking up the kill on a Thresh as they deliver Adam their first death of the game.
a little ambitious from
A little
Adam. A
ambitious.
little ambitious, but win or lose, there is no try.
Yeah. I mean, so the worst thing about that play wasn't like first it was missing the hook, and then second it was the fact that now they had to leave and there was really nowhere to go. You were either going into out of vision in the jungle, or you were going into the enemy team, and oh my god, oh.
Ooh, DD. Not gonna land that death sentence this time, but does burn the flash from Malphite, so that's something.
Yeah, that was definitely a really good. I think at this point I'd trade an ultimate for a flash every day of the week, right? Deity is just doing such a great job in this top lane. Don't let their KD fool you. This Urgot is very strong, and he's not to be messed with.
Yeah, he really is at one of his most powerful points in this mid game. Before people have the items and the armor to really.
Hayward actually able to find the kill here. This is going to be the ultimate coming down from Kayn here. Going to dash away, and I don't think they're going to be able to make it out of this one alive. As that's going to be the re-engage from Deity here, taken incredibly low. That's going to be the unstoppable force. Deity underneath the turret. Oh no, they go down. We go back into the bot lane here. Reptiles is in some trouble, and Hayward is still alive.
What?
Adam is going to be the one picking up the kill as Canuck Boss is looking to drop this Rift Herald in the bot lane.
I'm baffled Hayward didn't die there.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hex Flash? Okay, he's Hex Flashing backwards towards the Drake. Okay.
You ever just have Hex Flash and then you get in a tight spot and you're hiding in a bush, and then you get the full Hex Flash channel off and are able to flash over a wall and get out?
Yeah.
That's kind of that feels really good when you get that off.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever played with Hex Flash.
Oh,
I was like, ooh, Adam looking for the bunny foo play. Not gonna land this time. Thanks, Cleanse. Very cool. Adam's still looking for a little bit more though. Still wants to fight. Throws the hook out. Can't quite find it. So they're just going to back away here. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used Hex Flash.
it's very.
I think
niche.
I always saw Hex Flash as like I don't even know about that.
It's
I feel like it's been here for like 3 years.
It's going on like 2 characters.
Yep, 2? I don't even know about that.
Okay, it's going on Alistar and Leona.
It's like good and Thresh and
Thresh.
a lot of other engaged supports like I don't know, I just never use it. I just always see the like channel time, like that seems bad. But like it's a very, very good. Okay, unstoppable force in the top lane here. Canuck Boss has to go golden here, and now it's a 1v2. Deity is going to be able to pick up 1 kill. The fear is going to be huge. Reptile's still looking for a little bit more, trying to turn around on a Deity now. Pops the ultimate. Adam is now joined the fight, but is incredibly low. Going to drop the box. Double kill for Deity now. Wiggy Wonka is here. Winga Wonga. I can't English. Triple kill for the Urgot. Deity is looking for a little bit more. Can they get the quadra kill? Taken incredibly low. Need Charims. BRB. Quadra kill for Deity.
And that almost feels like the nail in the coffin at this point. Almost a 10k gold lead now. They're getting turrets top, mid, and bot. Losing all this farm. Urgot just went from 3 and 4 to 7 and 4, and he was the person who was the most far behind, considering how no chat only play kind of got a couple of ganks from Reptiles, and now all of that is just completely nullified.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already winning that lane. Now it's just gonna be even worse. No chat.
Yeah.
Just can't do anything versus this Urgot. He's gonna be so powerful. I mean, Reptiles went so hard, and they had a huge ultimate into the W, into his ultimate, and Canuck Boss lived. He had like 10 HP, and he didn't die.
I feel like that's been kind of the tune of this whole game too, because Award was also fighting Reptiles, and Reptiles, like Award escaped with like this by the skin of their teeth. And I feel like that's just been the game over and over again between phase rush and the movement speed that Lilia has kind of passively, that it's so hard for this Kayn, once they've bursted down the targets, to kind of finish the job, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the big thing here is, Now, they might have found out that's going to be the death sentence coming across. Not going to land this time, but both folks are positioning around this top half of the map.
Yeah, I mean, just really unfortunate. Reptile has had, if he gets one or two more of those kills, he gets a big shutdown. He has a second item complete at this point. But no, he's only 2 and 6 and only has that first item, and it's a Ghost Blade, so it's not even a mythic.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, it doesn't seem like he's looking for a second mythic almost immediately, right? He still has that Tear of the Goddess too, which it's definitely super late for that item, right? Like, even if your build calls for it, it's definitely too late. And Adam, looking for an engage right here, gonna pop Shurelia's Reverie, flash forward hook, gonna be answered by an Arcane Shift as Deity. Gonna look for the 1v2 one more time, dash away, no chat, only play, is looking for a little bit more. The blue team is making their way up here, but right now it is a 3v1. Deity, okay, they're blast going it over the wall. They're looking for more. Good stun, good hook, good sleep. So much CC. You can't get away from this blue squad as now they're going to shove in this top turret.
Yeah, just all of them just jumping over the wall with that blast gun, and Adam is he just doesn't care. He's just gonna walk by.
Yeah, we just go for a friendly stroll with Kane. He's just a good buddy.
Yeah, don't mind
That's
me.
That's a 10-4 good buddy.
Yeah. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, I'll see you later, dog. It was nice catching up with you.
Yeah.
How's the whole shadow business? What's going on with that? Were you doing the shadow clone jutsu again? That's pretty cool, I guess.
I'm the leader of the Shadow Isles now.
Yeah. What's up with that?
What are
you the leader of the Shadow Clan yet? No? Oh,
no,
okay,
Zed,
cool.
Unfortunately.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That kind of sucks.
I want to see an Ionian show like Arcane.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, they already have a really, really sweet comic book that if you haven't read already, you should go and look. Like, if folks, if you are listening to this and want like more like cool lore stuff that isn't like League of Legends or in a video game at all, there's this really sweet comic book that talks about Shen, Zed, and Jin, and it's very, very cool. Like, you should go look it up if you haven't read it already. It's very, very cool.
Didn't Marvel make that? Like,
I think. I don't know. I mean, it could. I'm just going to default to Dark Horse because that's a very safe pick here, as this is the safest pick of the entire game. Is look at this 9-0-5 on this rise for A-Word right now. So good. Adam looking for another engage, throws out the hook and landed. Looks for the bunny foo play, but they're not going to pick up the lantern this time. Going to pull him in for the meat grinder. Gets the double fear. They're looking for more. Urgot and Rise are huge, and they're just going to pick up the Dragon Soul on the back end. Yeah, cool. Why not? As now they're looking to maybe get they're going to get an inhibitor here. Do you think they can end the game?
I mean, they might. I mean, it's 10 seconds on Malphite. 10 seconds on Chimes now. Maybe. They might. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna try to do this. I don't know if they have the minion wave for this though.
Yeah, that minion wave is pretty weak here. Throws out the hook, lands it, gonna follow him all the way through the flash. Oh no, Adam goes down. Adashon has joined the fight, but it's too little too late. They weren't able to pick up a kill, so it is a 1-for-0 right now. Red team does have a man advantage. They might be able to turn this around. They're looking for Deity. That Reptiles is very fast, but not gonna be able to do a whole lot of damage to this team. They're gonna pick up this inhibitor turret here. Are they gonna look for more?
Yeah, Adam went on a little bit more of a ride than I think he bargained for with the Jade Splash, taking him under both towers. But A-Word,
oh my god, A-Word is huge. He's coming out on top here. Wiggy Wonka's going to look for the re-engage right here, but once again, A-Word just does too much damage. That's going to be the ultimate coming out from Urgot here. They might be able to turn this around. Flash forward. There's the suppression damage that they were looking for. Deity is legendary. 11-4-4 on this Urgot to 12-0-7 on this Rise. It is an unstoppable amount of damage right now. As is Urgot bugging out for you? He's stood backwards, auto-attacking.
He's so fed, he doesn't even need to look where he's shooting. Oh my god. The damage onto Ezreal. I mean, A-Word just had no fear there. I mean, he's almost full build. It's 24 minutes. He has 4 items. Well, this is death cap. Yeah. I mean, he was just like, you can't kill me. Didn't even need to pop Zhonya's. Just wasn't worried. one
Shurelia's
day.
battle song has been popped. There's the unstoppable force coming across, but the only unstoppable force this time is Adashan, as he still has yet to die in this game. He's taking some damage right off the bat here. That's gonna be the next person to fall. I need charms. BRB is gonna go down. Next is to fall is Reap Tiles. Double kill for the Rise. They're trying to stay alive for just a little bit longer. Dapoopy is the only person left. That's going to be him eating through oh my god, he's just played through the
Oh my
curtain call, but they're gonna be able to
gosh.
pick up the Nexus. That's going to be game number 2 going over to Omega Gaming Misfits, and that's the series to go with it. Absolutely incredible.
Yep, very, very well played. I mean, j- the rise was unstoppable.
Yeah.
It really felt like this game that Awer just said, last game we took a little bit too long winning. I'm just gonna play Rise and just kind of win the game. I mean,
was
almost 300 CS as
was
well.
this game shorter?
I think it was. It was a little shorter.
Was it?
It felt more one-sided.
It Yeah, I mean sure, but like I have to we'd have to get some confirmation. Hey folks, throw the timer from game number 1 into Twitch chat real quick for me. That'd be super helpful. Keep talking though. We'll probably get the answer to that in just a little
Yeah,
bit.
but I mean, Deity and Awer just played incredible. They had 25 kills between the two of
Yeah.
them out of 33, and then I
Yeah.
mean, Adashon, like, he last game wasn't his best performance. I felt like he got a little far behind early, but I mean, 7-0 got the early kills. Adam on this Thresh, landing so many hooks. It it
Yeah.
it it really felt like they just got control early and just never let go.
Yeah, and this is just such a really good game. I feel like the only thing that the only critique I would have was that Omega Gaming had like a bunch of opportunities to get the Rift Herald, which would have made this game a whole lot shorter, but they just didn't go for it. And like I feel like there were so many Rift Heralds that would might have been like very important to like unlocking Rise a whole lot earlier, or giving Deity just a little bit more space to work with in the top lane, right? Like there were a couple times where I was like, "Hey, this is a good time to get Rift Herald," and then there goes Lily off to get her blue buff, right? If anything, right? But
Yeah.
for the most part, this was a very very good game, and honestly, I have to say hats off to Adashan, because he at least made me put my foot in my mouth, because I was like, okay, I'm looking at the the results from game number 1. I'm analyzing a bit of the play, and the Jinx was a little was a little to be desired. It wasn't exactly the best showing we could have seen from Adashan, but he proved us wrong here on production and really came out on top on this Jin. 7-0-5, really, really looking good.
Yeah, definitely played very well. The early kills bot lane got the first blood thanks to Adam landing those early hooks. Just played very well. Not the hyper carry as Jinx, but this more supporty with the long range snares and the traps and the curtain calls, able to set up his team. And there was a couple times where he would land his W, and then A-Word or Deity or Canuck would be able to follow up on it and be able to get a kill.
Yeah, and I think the last thing that I want to really talk about here is just PCM looking forward. Just maybe they need to be a little bit more adaptable, in their draft here, because they basically drafted the same comp a second time, right? They have an AP pokey kind of support in the bot lane. They have Ezreal and Jace for their carries. They have a tank in the top lane, and then Reptiles is the person who changed the most, I feel, across the matches here. But I think just adapting just a little bit better to what the opponent is doing, and maybe changing up your own strategy, is the key to victory when you're getting into games 2 and game number 3. But that is going to do it from us here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We have League of Legends action for you to watch every week, and we're getting more consistent. We have streams nearly every day this week, which sounds really awesome. If you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And we now have a Patreon. If you are in the Style Esports uh, Discord. You can go up to style links and you will find the link to our Patreon, which is going to help us. You see this amazing production quality. If you like the sound of my voice, maybe the sound of True Tabaga's voice, maybe even the sound of MXL's voice, and maybe you like the sound of K9's voice. I don't know why you would,
Nah, no, I
but you
don't
know
know.
what?
I don't know why.
Yeah, if you like all this production that we're able to do for you, that Patreon is going to make sure that we can keep doing that for y'all. Thank you all. But once again, thank you all so much for tuning in from and myself, the entire live broadcast crew, K9, my co-caster and producer for this evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Style Esports this evening, and we'll see you at the next match. Bye bye.